$100,000. To some, it sounds like a fortune. To others, it sounds like just the beginning. But here is the truth that the banking world and the ultra wealthy don't always say out loud. $100,000 is not just a number on a screen. It is a fundamental, psychological, and structural game changer for your entire life. If you have ever felt like you are running on a treadmill, working hard, but never actually getting ahead, it's likely because you haven't hit this critical tipping point yet. What if I told you that everything about how you see the world, how you spend your time, and how you plan your future changes the moment you hit that six-figure milestone? If you are currently earning less than $100,000 or have less than that in your bank account, this video is going to shift your perspective on money forever. Today, we are breaking down why that first $100,000 is the hardest, why it's the most important, and how it serves as the ultimate launch pad for your financial freedom. Why does $100,000 matter so much? It's not just about being able to buy a nice car or put a down payment on a house. It is about the transition from survival mode to builder mode. Psychologically, hitting $100,000 creates a sense of profound security that many people never experience in their entire lives. When you have $5 in your pocket, you're worried about lunch. When you have $1,000, you're worried about next month's rent. But when you hit $100,000, the constant background noise of financial anxiety starts to fade. You gain the confidence to make decisions based on what you want to do rather than what you are forced to do. Practically, this is where the math of building wealth starts to work in your favor. Legendary investor Charlie Munger once famously said that the first $100,000 is a total nightmare to save, but you have to do it. Why? Because once you have that capital, compound interest finally has enough fuel to actually move the needle. You are no longer just trading your hours for dollars. You are beginning to trade your dollars for more dollars. When you reach this level, your life changes in tangible ways. The most immediate shift is in your investment power. Most people struggle to invest because they are only dealing with small amounts of leftover money, but with $100,000, you have the ability to enter markets that were previously closed to you. You can look at real estate opportunities, buy significant chunks of index funds, or even start a small business without the fear of immediate bankruptcy. Your lifestyle gets an upgrade, but not in the way most people think. It's not about flashy watches, it's about the quality of your options. You can afford better healthcare, better education for your family, and the ability to travel without checking your bank balance every 5 minutes. There is also a major social shift. At $100,000, you start to enter new networks. You find yourself in rooms with people who are talking about leverage and assets rather than debt and bills. Your credibility increases because you have proven you have the discipline to accumulate a significant sum of capital. However, there are many myths about this six-figure milestone that we need to debunk. The biggest myth is that $100,000 makes you rich. In today's economy, $100,000 is powerful, but it is not never work again money. If you treat it like a finish line, you will lose it just as fast as you made it. Reality is that $100,000 is a tool, not a trophy. Another common myth is that only high earners, like doctors or lawyers, can reach this goal. The reality is that building wealth to this level is often achieved by average earners who mastered the art of multiple income streams and aggressive saving. Finally, people think that life stops being stressful once they have this much money. The truth is that the stress simply shifts. Instead of stressing about how to pay for a broken water heater, you start stressing about how to protect your assets from inflation. Money solves money problems, but it doesn't solve life problems. It just gives you better tools to deal with them. So how do you actually reach $100,000? It requires a 3-step process: income strategy, smart allocation, and time. First, you must focus on your earning potential. Whether it's climbing the corporate ladder, developing a high-income skill like coding or sales, or launching a side hustle, you need a surplus of cash. You cannot save your way to $100,000 if your income only covers your basic needs. Second, you have to avoid lifestyle inflation. As your income grows, your expenses must stay relatively flat. This is the gap where wealth is created. Third, you must invest early and often. Even small amounts, when compounded at 7 or 8%, begin to snowball. Imagine a person named Sarah who worked a standard job but spent 5 years living like she was still a student while putting every extra penny into a diversified portfolio. By the time she hit $100,000, her investments were doing more work than her overtime shifts. This isn't a get-rich-quick scheme. It is a disciplined march toward a goal. Reaching this level requires a massive mindset shift. You have to move from scarcity thinking to abundance thinking. Scarcity thinking is being afraid to spend $10 on a book that could teach you a new skill. Abundance thinking is realizing that $100,000 is just the beginning of what is possible. You become proactive rather than reactive. Instead of waiting for a financial crisis to happen to you, you have the capital to take risks that others can't. You can quit a toxic job because you have a runway of cash. You can invest in a startup because you can afford the risk. This confidence changes how you carry yourself in the world. You stop being a victim of the economy and start becoming a participant in it. You realize that $100,000 is a launch pad, a solid concrete foundation upon which you can build a skyscraper of financial freedom. But this is what the majority of individuals fail to notice after they reach $100,000. When they attain this goal, many people then approach a plateau. They settle into a comfortable position. They begin spending either the capital or the interest because they believe they have made it for themselves. When you see 6 figures in your account, the most significant error you can make is to allow lifestyle inflation to creep in. Taking that $100,000 and learning how to multiply it is the key. This is the point at which you go from saving to leveraging. In order to acquire assets that generate even more cash flow, you use that money either as collateral or as a down payment toward its purchase. As a matter of fact, the majority of affluent individuals are aware of the fact that the transition from $100,000 to $1 million is frequently more expedient and less difficult than the transition from $0 to $100,000. How come? Mostly due to the fact that the money is finally functioning as hard as you are. You are currently in the lead. You will develop the habits. Your frame of mind is correct. In conclusion, the quantity of $100,000 is the ultimate turning point since it grants power, freedom, and a fresh perspective on the entirety of the world. This is the point at which you transition from playing defense to playing offensive against the opponent. Financial stability is associated with a number of benefits, including the psychological peace of mind, the practical ability to invest, and the social possibilities that come along with it. You should make this achievement your major goal if you have not yet reached this milestone. Focus on the first 100,000 instead of worrying about the millions of dollars just now. Take a look at your spending, work on improving your skills, and maintain consistency. Although amassing wealth is a marathon, the perspective shifts drastically once you reach the 6-figure mark in your financial situation. Starting today, you should concentrate on constructing your foundation. In the event that you found this viewpoint to be beneficial, please make sure to share your ideas with us in the comment section and also mention your own objectives for accomplishing this particular milestone. The first step is the beginning of every truly remarkable fortune. Begin yours right away.